Hey guys, Goldbacker00 here. So about a month ago, I filmed a full Goldbacks collection video where I showcased all of my collectible Goldbacks and such. Also included that were other Goldback products such as the Silverback. These Silverbacks, although they were minted in conjunction with Goldback, you can see Goldback symbol and their website printed right here on the note, were actually a collaboration between Goldback Inc. and the YouTuber Silver Dragons. So they put a silver dragon on there and they called it the Silver Dragons Silverback. Now in comparison to the Goldback, these Silverbacks are not specifically designed to be used as money. Is that going to stop you to say, hey, I've got some silver, would you take this as payment? No. But they're not like necessarily mass produced for that purpose. There's no fungible different denominations and such, and you know, a couple other things. But they do have the anti-counterfeiting materials that a regular Goldback does. They're clearly desirable and beautiful, and they are made with real silver. But they were minted as a collectible. As you can see, this is number 5,716 of 100,000. Fun fact, I've never seen a Silverback who's, I guess you could call it a serial number, was over 50,000. I think the closest I've seen is like 45,000. If that means that they hadn't actually minted 100,000, or if they haven't released any that were over 50,000, or they're trying to get rid of the earlier stock first, I'm not sure. But I certainly don't have any in my collection. I still have yet to see any. So if you have one, leave a comment and let me know, because I'm really curious to hear about that. But I digress. These are meant to be collectibles, not money, in the way that the Goldback is. The limited mintage is meant to add another element to the collectability, and I was surprised they were exceedingly popular. Full disclosure, it's only about 2 to 3 cents worth of silver, and they retail for about $9 to $11. You can see they get much more beautiful when they're out of the holder, but being a collectible, I want to protect them. Cool thing about this technology, the silver is not meant to tarnish and darken and stuff like that, like with conventional bullion, because it's encased in the 2 layers of polymer. So this has been just as crisp and bright and radiant as the day I got it. Or is it? I'm not sure yet, because I haven't compared it directly to the new Silverbacks. It could be that it's darker. And yes, you heard me correctly. New Silverbacks. Not even a week ago, someone was on the Goldback Discord and mentioned, hey guys, new Silverbacks. I was at Walmart and I was with my girlfriend and I said, we gotta go home, I gotta look at this. I had no advance notice that they were coming out or anything like that. So I immediately went home and ordered. So we're going to keep this one out. I'm going to set the protector aside. And we are going to compare it to the 3 new designs for the Silverback this year. Again, whether they're called Silverbacks this year or not has not been established. So here's the 2022 Silverback. I ordered from, it was either JM Bullion or Bullion Max. I think it was JM Bullion. And in order to get the free shipping, I had to go over 200, so I just picked up a couple extra Goldbacks from them. So here's a single 2023 New Hampshire back right here. And here's the second one. So as I mentioned, there are 3 new Silverback designs, and we're going to go ahead and just reveal these one at a time. So the first one is the Cuab Buried Zombucks Currency of the Apocalypse. I was not super familiar with these up until the release of these notes. But apparently Zombucks have been around as sort of the same thing, like a collectible or joke currency that people could use during the apocalypse when the zombies come, that sort of a thing. And I'm assuming that, you know, they just saw an opportunity to make a really unique and cool collectible with the new silver arm technology. Now, an interesting thing, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, well, obviously it's got to be a Goldback creation, right? Because I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure Goldback owns some rights specifically for silver arms. But again, I'm not positive, which I'm pretty sure means no one would be able to make stuff like this without both Velarum and Goldback Inc.'s blessing. That might be the case, it might not be the case. It could be that you just have to go to Velarum. But at first I was like, well, obviously it's a Goldback. Then I was like, I'm not sure. I don't think it is, because upon closer inspection, if you look on the 22 Silverback, you see it says Goldback, goldback.com. But on the new Zombucks, it does say ARM, but there's no Goldback symbol. Funnily enough, we'll go over this later, but the date's different too. And there's a couple different differences, like with the security features around the rim. So my point being, I wasn't sure, or I wasn't convinced at the beginning that these were made in conjunction with Goldback Inc. Upon some discussion with the folks on the Goldback Reddit, the general consensus has been made, you know, it definitely has to be a Goldback product, because although it does not have the Goldback symbol on there or any lettering indicating such, it's got all of the Goldback security feature technology, like that stripe down the left. It's got the denomination on the same size. It's got title and subtitle in the same area as a Goldback. Although it's not the same emblem, it does have an emblem in the same location. The declaration on the bottom that declares that it is a Silverback and is not legal tender is also the same, with the exception that, if you'll notice, it does not say this Silverback contains, it says this Zombuck contains. So it seems that technically, although we may refer to these colloquially as Silverbacks, just like every lighter's a Zippo, every gun's an AK-47 or a Glock, this seems that technically, officially, this is the only Silverback to still exist. So perhaps the Silverback is just going to be for the Silver Dragons line. Could be true, could be untrue, but it appears as of now, they are different products. And as I was leading to before, with all the similarities between the two, the general consensus on the Reddit has been that these are made by Goldback Inc., or at least in conjunction with Goldback Inc. Although they are not a Silverback, that doesn't have their emblem on them, it probably is just that they didn't want to cheapen the brand, because clearly these are meant to be kind of a tongue-on-cheek collectible, and you don't want to cheapen the brand of their money product by associating it with something that is meant to be fun and a collectible. This is a serious money product, and these are meant to be collectibles, and they probably want that line very distinctive and clear. Here's your collectibles if you're a collector, and here's your money if you want sound money. I still do think that they, you know, they could have some type of declaration somewhere on here saying that it's in association with Goldback, or have their emblem on it. And one thing that, if I could offer one critique, I do wish that the general overall design looked a little bit different than the Goldback, because even that's confusing. Like I said, the denomination's in the same location with the same, it looks generally the same between the two. And any random spectator is going to determine and assume, oh, okay, they're making an analogous option for those who want to collect silver instead of gold. Clearly this is meant to be money, just like this is. That's probably going to be the general perception, and I think that can cause some issues. So if I could offer one critique, I would say, you know, we probably should distinguish the design a little bit. I'm not sure how they would do that without redesigning new security features and such. I'm sure that there was some thought given into that. But for our first new design, I will zoom in, and we'll kind of just go over this one bit at a time. I apologize, as I always do. I don't exactly have professional lighting or anything like that. I might get some in the future, just because, you know, I tend to like filming videos like this so far, and it would absolutely help. But with how shiny Goldbacks and Silverbacks are, they love to be looked at, but they don't really like to be filmed. Even under ideal lighting, they tend to get very blown out. So starting at the top, like I said, you've got the denomination here, and the funny thing, it looks like that's the symbol for the Zombuck, so it's one Zombuck. And this one is the Cuab Buried, because there's a kookaburra on there. And its subtitle is the Currency of the Apocalypse. See the security features around the outside, Currency of the Apocalypse, Zombucks. The finer detail, every time I look at a Goldback or a Silverback, I find new stuff every single time. There's so many fine details. Can you imagine trying to counterfeit one of these? Probably why it's never been done. You have your, I guess, I refer to it as a serial number. 3,407 of 10,000. And of course, the material is embossed with that writing, so you'll have a perfect reverse of that on the rear. So any counterfeiter trying to trick a knowledgeable holder of a Silverback or a Zombuck Aurum note is going to have to also fake this perfect negative image on the back. Continuing down the left, we've got the Aurum logo. I'm assuming that this is what their Zombucks like series emblem is, instead of it saying Goldback on the Goldback notes and the Silverback note from 2022. Funny thing though, the date is 2026. As I'm filming this, it's the 5th month of 2024. So we've got a little bit to go. I'm assuming they're making an inference about where the world is heading. And moving further on down the left, the declaration on the bottom: the Zombuck contains 1/1000th troy ounce pure silver, now legal tender, the U.S. patent. That's a really cool symbol right here. I didn't notice that until now. A little skull. Same security features going up to right and all the way up to the top. And we'll back out a little bit. We'll just kind of look at the overall design. I'll put it side by side so you can see how those designs have changed. And as I mentioned before, notice that there's absolutely no difference between the clarity or the luster of the precious metal. They both are very beautiful silver, and I am not noticing any difference. I am noticing a little bit of a difference with how foldy, I guess is the technical term, or bendy, that the 2022 is. This one is flexible in the same way, but it doesn't want to curl up like a cheese curl when I flip it upside down. That is one thing that Valorum has improved upon, I've noticed, with their gold back. Even with the regular gold back notes. Another cool thing, to take a look at the serial number on the Silverback, it's out of 100,000. If we look at the Zombuck, it is out of 10,000. So you can see that there, which means that the Zombucks are going to be at least 10 times more rare, at least for the first years. If they come out with future years, they may keep it 10,000 per year, or they may adapt that, but it looks like the mintage for these first years that were made in 2024, although it says 2026, every design has a mintage of 10,000. So there's 30,000 of these total, with 10,000 of each design. I picked up 6 of each, and I plan on picking up some more. When they come out with graded reds, I'm going to grab some of those, and when they come out, I'm assuming, I'm not positive, but if they have the same type of thing that the Silverback did in 2022, and they had the first 1,000 that have the purple stripe on the left, I'm absolutely going to be picking some of those up, because I want to complete the set. And as I mentioned, for those who are interested, I got 6 of these, and the ones that I received were sequential. So you'll see this first one, 3402, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07. Moving on, we have the next design. I'm going to give you a close-up, but I'm not going to go over quite every single security feature, just because we already did that with the other sister series that just came out this year. And the security features, from what I can tell, are roughly the same. Even the declaration on the bottom is the same. Take this one out the holder, give it a little bit more clarity. So here's the top. And we'll slowly just move her on down. For those who want a close-up, you'll see that this one is number 3909. And I will leave links to the close-up of the image. For those who really want to study the artwork, there's a pretty decent resolution image online. And you'll see that this one is also dated 2027, which is the year after the Cuab Buried. So it looks like it went from 2026 to now this one's 2027, although these were minted in 2024, obviously. Kangaroo, and there's ruins in the background, hence Kangarooing. Looks like this one might be Australia themed. Alongside, obviously, the fact that there's a kangaroo is the main piece of artwork. And then here's the bottom. Here's one final shot of the comparison between the two. And I'll also have a comparison between all 4 of them at the end. So if that's what you're looking for, that'll be towards the end. That way they'll be side by side. But again, I'll post pictures of the high resolution scans that were provided online for those who want to study the artwork. There's always a fun amount of detail to discover in goldback product. As with the Cuab Buried, I got 6 of these as well. And once again, for those who are interested, these are sequential. See, the first one is 3904, 05, 06, 07, 08, and 09. So we'll set those aside now. And on to the last of the 3 that were just released. This one is the Pandemonium. Here's a quick shot between the 2 of them. Now I'll take this one out of the holder. So yeah, we got Pandemonium, same thing, Zombucks, Currency of the Apocalypse. Same security features. I'll give you a close-up and we'll scan down the note here. Here's the top. We'll slowly move her on down. 8506 of 10,000. The Zombified Panda. And 2026. That's interesting because the first one we looked at, the Cuab Buried, is also 2026. But the Kangaroo is 2027. So I guess Zombucks is trying to make a not so favorable outlook on our future here. And I can Continuing to move on down here. And finally the declaration at the bottom that the Zombuck contains 1/1000th of a troy ounce of pure silver. One thing I forgot to do so far for all of them is to give a clear shot of the complete rear, so I'll do that as well at the end when we're looking at all 4 of them together. Here's the last quick shot of just these 2 being compared. And for those curious about whether these were sequential or not, unfortunately, although the other 2 sets of 6 that I did get were sequential, these ones were unfortunately not. I think I did get 2 that line up, but all 6 of them are not. So our first one, 8506, 8453, 8454. Looks like those are my 2 sequentials I mentioned. 8478, 8484, and 8501. And those are the 6 Pandemonium Zombucks. So now I'll bring them all back on out. And finally, here's your shot of all 4 of them together. It's fascinating seeing just how flat these Zombucks are, again, just because of how the technology has advanced in the past 2 years. This one kind of wants to curl up and bow a little bit. These ones are more or less flat. So here's your shot of all 4 right next to each other on the front end, and then we'll take a shot of the rears, which, as I mentioned, the artwork and all the imagery and stuff like that on the front are embossed on the rear, which means the depth and deposition of the actual precious metal that's on it perfectly matches up to what the ink is printed onto that plastic layer on the front. It's even more noticeable when they're upside down. These 3 are just laying flat still, with the exception of like the corner kind of wants to come up just a little tiny bit. But this one is just absolutely like, I want to fly off the table, man. Give me a gust of wind here. But the rear is really cool because you really can tell it does look like the 2022. Maybe this is because of the technology, but it is a little bit darker. That's interesting. It doesn't quite look like that on the front. Maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe that's all it is. But it does look a little bit darker, but it's certainly not toning like you would expect for a regular piece of bullion. I mean, it looks like the opposite, at least on the preview screen that I'm seeing. For the front, this one looks darker than this one. But on the rear, the Silverback looks darker than the Zombucks. It might just be the lighting for all I know. To me, it doesn't seem like there's very much of a noticeable difference between the 2. In terms of toning, it doesn't seem like even the older one is going to tone. So there you go. That's my quick little video. I was going to do an unboxing, but I mean, who's not just going to skip to the part where I rip the box open anyway? And then I have to worry about editing out my address and not doxing myself and everything. So I just kind of figured I would skip to the part where I already have them out, and we'll go over them together and just kind of take a closer look at them. I only had a quick glance. Couldn't help myself. Please consider joining us on the Goldback Discord, the link to which is in my Linktree in the video description. We're trying to grow the Discord and get some good people in there. There's already a group of very good people in there. You're going to like it. And now it's time to add these ones to the binder as well. So as I mentioned, please consider joining us on the subreddit, the Goldback subreddit, the Goldback Discord, the links for which will be in my Linktree in the video description. And as always, thank you, God bless you, and remember, Jesus is the only way. I upload videos on this subject and related subjects, so please consider subscribing if interested. If you have any subjects you'd like me to make a video on, I'm always open to suggestions. If you are interested in signing up for the UPMA, which is free, easy, does not attach to your social security number, or even require any payment methods to get started, please check out my video titled How to Sign Up for the UPMA. The UPMA offers free vaulting for Goldbacks. If you are not aware of what the UPMA is and want to learn more, check out my video titled What is the UPMA for more information. I will leave links to both videos in the video description. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Leave a comment, message me, or reach out directly to my contact information on my Linktree.